gunned down on the job.
It was incredible how calm and level-headed he was.
A single mother's final moments captured on surveillance video.
To watch him walk in and just take this life, I think it was very chilling for the community.
Was it a robbery that turned fatal from panic? Or had this killer directly come for Chelsea Small?
We've never seen something like that in a robbery.
4 years after a mother's cold and calculated murder, the mystery deepens. As detectives reveal an unusual new clue in the cold case.
Using an item like that suggests to me that she was an intended target, and that was the #1 goal.
Crime Watch Daily is teaming up with police to try and track down one of Michigan's most wanted fugitives who could be living near you.
Every second he's out there is a danger to anybody and everybody.
Everything 30-year-old Chelsea Small did, she did for her 2 kids.
They were her life. Her babies were her life.
The single mother of 2 worked full-time at a cash advance store in Taylor, Michigan, just outside Detroit. She was also enrolled in classes at Wayne County Community College. Her sister Mandy says Chelsea was a standout student.
She was on the dean's list. She was very proud of herself. She studied very hard.
That's impressive, being a mom of 2, a single mom of 2 on the dean's list. Does she have a lot of drive?
Her children were her motivation. She was very motivated to give them and provide for them.
Despite her hectic schedule, Chelsea took time out to celebrate her son's 5th birthday, a day Chelsea's own mom, Debbie, will never forget.
It was pretty awesome. It was special, you know, a bunch of little boys running around, you know, and there's a lot of good memories.
Memories of that special day recently came flooding back when a lost camera suddenly resurfaced.
The batteries still worked in it, and it came up, and the picture on the screen was her picture.
What did that feel like to see those images?
Oh, it was awesome.
Those family photos would be the last Chelsea Small would ever take. 4 days later, she was on the job at Advance America, a day that began like any other.
She was running to the bank to do the deposit when we talked briefly, and that was 10:30-ish, I guess, somewhere around that time.
90 minutes later, Chelsea Small was back behind the counter, alone in the store, which was kept locked for safety, even during business hours. Shortly after noon, a man wearing a dark black cap buzzed at the door.
My personal gut, as her mom, and from day one, I still believe that she knew him, or at least knew him through work.
After a quick glance, Chelsea let him in.
I think she knew of him enough, or his face of enough, to not hesitate when she buzzed the buzzer to buzz him in.
Stephen Schwein, the former lead investigator on the case, who recently retired, agrees with the family.
I think it's reasonable to think that she would be familiar with him, especially, you know, from a business standpoint.
Chelsea's mom says if the customer had raised any red flags, her daughter likely would have called before letting him inside.
If she was afraid or intimidated, I would have think she would have waited and called me like she had in the past and said, I just want to keep you on the line.
But seconds after he entered the store, Chelsea Small was afraid. The man in the cap walked right up to the counter and pulled out a gun.
The way he walks in there, he knew what he was after, he knew what he wanted to do.
Just as Chelsea managed to hit the silent alarm, he fired the first shot.
Do you think she was shot because he knew that she signaled with that silent alarm?
That's what my gut tells me.
So that was the life or death decision, is the trigger?
Right. At that point, he's committed. He fired a gun. He struck her. He knows he struck her. She fell to the ground. Now he's all in.
But he wasn't done yet. Surveillance video shows the cold-blooded killer walk around the counter and fire a second shot into the lifeless body of the mother of 2.
I think that his intent in going around the backside of the counter is to make sure that Chelsea's not going to provide him any more resistance.
With the only witness now dead, the shooter begins searching the store, casually opening cabinets and drawers. Detective Eric Jones, who now leads the investigation, says the killer's calm demeanor was astounding.
There's no real panic. There's no real, oh my gosh, I need to leave now.
After taking cash from the register, the killer then strolls out the front door. His savage stop lasting just 60 seconds.
It was incredible how calm and level-headed he was through the entire incident, especially when you consider what he did.
Especially on his exit. He wasn't even running out.
Right. There seemed to be no sense of urgency at any point.
If he'd come hoping to get rich, detectives say the killer likely left disappointed.
It ended up being a small amount of money. I would think he was expecting maybe more money.
Officers responding to the silent alarm arrived minutes later and found Chelsea's body behind the counter, but no trace of her killer.
It's like he just went into the ether.
Investigative reporter Heather Catallo from our Detroit affiliate WXYZ says the callous murder sent shockwaves through the community.
The fact that this happened in such a populated area, Telegraph Road has like 60,000 vehicles on it every day, and nobody saw anything.
Catallo believes the store's close proximity to Interstate 94 and the Detroit airport helped the killer make a quick escape.
Even though it was busy, broad daylight, middle of the day, he had a ton of access to get out of there quickly.
The gunman was gone, but left behind this surveillance video of his cold and calculated crime.
I've watched the video hundreds of times, trying to see if something specific stands out.
And what stands out left them questioning if robbery was really the motive.
I think the taking of the money is secondary.
Next, was the mother of two her killer's intended target?
My opinion is that he went there not to rob, but to kill.
Surprising new evidence just revealed by detectives.
Do you think this guy is some professional hitman? Why change your mind and release that information?
It's a key part of the case. It's a key part of what happened.
That key piece of evidence? Look closely, right there at the gun.